There was no Avengers film announced for the MCU Phase 4. However, Kevin Feige did talk about the next group of Avengers and Marvel's plans for massive crossover events in the coming years. And what he said seems to confirm a lot of the rumors we've been hearing about the new Avengers, the young Avengers, and even the Dark Avengers. Let's go through everything that was said and preview the future of the Avengers franchise.
It's like the news, but for nerds.
Today's shout out goes to Todd Madrack. Indeed, longing is the first word that triggers Bucky in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Make sure you stay to the end of this video where we will ask another nerd card question. What's up, everybody? Happy Wednesday to you. I'm Josh. Welcome back to the den. And I should mention it's New Comic Book Day and the new Jonathan Hickman X-Men comic, The House of X, drops today. I'm super excited for it. If you didn't know, it does drop today. Go check it out. Big deal, man. It's a big deal. Like, I don't know how to tell you this. It's a big deal. Now, Feige was asked a lot about Avengers post-Phase 4 announcement at San Diego Comic-Con. Like, literally almost everybody that got a microphone in his face at San Diego after that announcement was made was like, hey, there's no Avengers on there, Kevin Feige. What's up with the Avengers, huh? What's going on with them? And he had boilerplate answers for this. He just continuously said two major things. Number one, that they just had Avengers Endgame and that was literally an ending of sorts for that group of Avengers. And he said that Phase 4 is about new beginnings. However, when he was pressed on this, he did say we will be getting new Avengers team and that it will be made up of some familiar faces, but also some new faces. When pressed even more, he did let it slip with a smile that indeed there are massive crossovers coming for the MCU and that they have planned out to 5 or 6 years, and there's just stuff they're not announcing. Those words about them planning 5 or 6 years in advance and having a plan for the next big crossover events, those words came out of Kevin Feige's his singular mouth. And this is crazy because it falls in line with a lot of the rumors we've been hearing. Okay, we have been hearing that Marvel is going to do mini arcs, that they are doing 2 to 3 year arcs for the phases now instead of these big, long, overarching film arc thingies. Like, it's crazy how legitimate all of this stuff is starting to seem. Like, really, we're going earthbound, cosmic bound. There's mini arcs. This really leads us to believe that Dark Avengers and New Avengers and Young Avengers are likely all on the table. Now, what a lot of people are running with right now is this idea that we will do New Avengers, that that's clearly what's going to happen, and that the new team of Avengers that Feige is sort of referencing in his comments, that means we're literally getting a New Avengers movie, like title and all, like The New Avengers. And that might actually be the case. However, I'm starting to think that might not happen until after Dark Avengers. Now, I'll get into more of that in just a second, but let's now speculate about what these teams could look like. So if there really is going to be a New Avengers team made up of some old faces and some familiar faces, who can we expect on the team? Well, let's start with the old faces. I think number one, Sam Wilson will be on the team, but he'll be on the team as Captain America. But technically he's an old face. He's a fan favorite character. He'll be a staple of the team. You'll then get Captain Marvel. I think you'll get Doctor Strange. I think you'll have Spider-Man and War Machine, Wanda and Vision, likely Bucky, and then Thor. Now, Thor's kind of a weird situation because if they do have female Thor last longer than just one movie, it is possible that we have female Thor as a new face for the New Avengers. But my money is actually on her only coming back for one film and not being around after that film, which is kind of a spoiler to that comic book storyline, but I think that's the way they're gonna go. But it's possible we have old Thor, Chris Hemsworth Thor, as Thor in the New Avengers. And I also think there's an outside chance that Black Panther will join the Avengers. He's technically not an Avenger and he's got plenty of stuff to worry about in Wakanda, but it's possible when a big scale threat comes out that he will join with the Avengers. As far as the new faces go, I think number one, you're gonna get Shang-Chi. Now, this dude is hilarious. He's very charismatic. I think that, tying it to the 10 Rings is going to be epic for his solo movie, but I think because the character is gonna be so good and have such a tie to different things that happen in the MCU, that Shang-Chi will indeed become a new face of the Avengers. And I hope a predominant voice in the New Avengers. I think you'll also get the new Black Widow. I think Yelena is being set up to replace Natasha Romanoff as Black Widow. I think you'll get a Black Widow, a new Black Widow in the New Avengers. I also think it's possible we get Blade on the Avengers, new face there. Mahershala Ali, amazing actor. It would be great to have him in an Avengers movie. You could see some of the cast of the Eternals, although it's really too early to tell if these characters will go cosmic and be out with the Guardians or if they'll remain on Earth and join the Avengers in any capacity. Now let's talk about the Young Avengers. Now, I definitely think this is coming, and I think they've been setting this up for a while now. So I think number one, Kate Bishop, who will take over the Hawkeye role. She's gonna be a part of the Young Avengers, and that Matt Fraction comic book run, I know I say this all the time in videos, but guys, that run is amazing. So that Hawkeye show, I think if they can capture that tone, amazing, and it'll set Kate Bishop up the right way. People will love that character because of that show. So we get Kate Bishop. I do think we will get a version of Ironheart in the Young Avengers, but I don't know whether or not it will be Morgan Stark growing up and taking over the legacy of her father, or if they're gonna introduce Riri Williams into the MCU or do like a version of Riri Williams. Some people were thinking that the new MJ played by Zendaya might be the new Ironheart Riri Williams. But either way, I think we're getting a version of Ironheart. I think we could get the Jonas version of Vision, who's like a young reincarnated child of Vision and Wanda. Considering the WandaVision show and what might be going on with those two characters, you could see their offspring be a young Avenger, like a younger Vision. Would be kind of cool. I think you'll also see Cassie Lang as Stature, and I think you might even see characters like Spider-Man or maybe Shuri from the Black Panther. Those characters could work in a Young Avengers movie as well. Now, one of the reasons I think either one of these new iterations of the Avengers will work is because of the time period we're in. I mean, post-Endgame, the world's topsy-turvy. People are really scared, and I think there's a big need for new cast of Avengers, so I can see how with that backdrop, it will be very interesting to start to pull these teams together. But given where we're at, I think it also leaves the perfect road to Dark Avengers. I mean, considering what Mysterio did in Far From Home, it really looks like the world is ready to believe almost anything, and Quentin Beck did take advantage of that fact in a villainous way to try to propel himself up as a hero. And he also made Spider-Man look like a villain. So the whole MCU might be dealing with the fact that now Spider-Man's villain number one, and he's been doing this crazy stuff. And there was no Avengers group in Far From Home. Like, the Avengers did not show up when these great, crazy things were happening on the Earth. So right now, I don't think there are Avengers. And so given the need for the Avengers and given the fact that now Peter Parker will be looked at as a villain, you could see the Dark Avengers start to appear. And I think if we did do the Dark Avengers, I think Justin Hammer could possibly take over the role of a Norman Osborn, utilize the Stark technology left over, you know, consult with the UN, get approval by all these governments, and now he's the new Iron Man. He's in charge of the Avengers now. And you could have the Vulture, you know, especially when you consider the way he was using tech, Avengers tech, and alien tech to build stuff. You definitely have the Vulture and the Tinkerer be a part of the Dark Avengers. You could have the Mandarin, who's this new crazy villain we're going to be introduced to in Shang-Chi, although his fingerprints are already all over the MCU. The Ten Rings was the terrorist organization that first captured Tony Stark. They're of course involved with the Slatery character in Iron Man 3, but they're also a part of Ant-Man and the Wasp. It's actually possible that this random character that played a role in Ant-Man and the Wasp, like the mysterious dude looking for the Pym Particles tech, yeah, that character could be the Mandarin. We also have a new version of Loki that seems to be more villainous. I mean, he's still struggling with stuff, but he hasn't had the arc that our Loki has had, so therefore he's still a villain. He could work as a member of the Dark Avengers. We're also getting back Zemo with the hood, you know, very Thunderbolt look here, so Thunderbolts or Dark Avengers works there. We're getting Red Guardian, that's who David Harbour is playing in the Black Widow movie, and we know Taskmaster's in the Black Widow movie, so there's a lot of dope villains coming into the MCU, and if you wanted to, you could put them all together in a group and actually go the route of Dark Avengers post Phase 4. Either way, guys, the only official news out there is that indeed Kevin Feige does have a plan for the Avengers franchise post Phase 4, that Phase 4 is a stage of rebuilding after Endgame, which was an end for that cast of the Avengers. The Avengers as a franchise is coming back. We're getting massive crossover events in the next 5 or 6 years, and Feige knows exactly what they're going to be. And then of course we speculated about what a new Avengers cast could look like, what a young Avengers cast could look like, and what a Dark Avengers cast could look like. There's just so many dope possibilities. It's so awesome. Let us know what you think about all of this news, and which Avengers movie would you like to see Marvel tackle first, and do you think they could actually do all 3 of these Avengers movies in Phase 5? Let me know your thoughts about that in the comment section below. Now let's check the nerd card before we get out of here. I want to know the actual character name of the Vulture villain from the MCU, played by the amazing Michael Keaton. Awesome character. Hope to see him back in the MCU. What is the name of that character in the MCU? Answer that question in the comment section below. As I always say, I hope you're having an awesome and a nerdy day, and I'll see you in the next video.